Welcome back to Band of Blades. Man, I heard some traps were getting trapped. Um, let's untrap them traps. I mean, what?
Okay, so in standard Blades of the Dark fashion,
Uh-oh. Hold on. Apparently I muted you guys' mics. So I apologize.
It wasn't important anyway.
I unmuted them and then remuted them again when we first came live. I'm so sorry. So, Strauss, you were saying
something about a trap queen.
so I was gonna say, you've activated my trap card. But in standard Blades fashion, I get to say a thing, like for example, and horrible fire douses all of you, and then you get to say no. So Alice, how are you going to try and resist? Since I already heard it, but let's say it once more for the audience.
Yeah. So as I said, well, muted. I don't, as much as I love Rem, I don't think she's smart enough to have expected this exact trap ahead of time. However, I do think she has quick enough reflexes to have stepped forward, feel that like pressure plates slowly sink, and step back in time.
Well, that certainly sounds like an insight resist.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Noted then.
You were going for physical resist, weren't you?
Prowess resist would look something like smashing a nozzle, interposing yourself between your friends, and
jumping on the grenade. Yeah.
Jumping on the grenade. Yeah, like shoving past it, that kind of stuff.
If you fucking point me to whatever nozzles are shooting fire, that sounds like a grand idea.
Just use your shield and block the fire.
I didn't bring this. That would be cool, but the shield didn't fit. Sadly.
Yeah.
Can I help, like an assist, but like nope.
Yeah, if you want to insight resist for Ram, that's totally a doable thing.
I only have 2.
That's
I have 1 and 2 different. Okay. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, like that sounds like Ram's been doing some like competent stuff. I think it'd be cool for you to like save Ram ass, like
that sounds good.
save
Yeah.
Ram's ass for once. There we go. Words are hard. Anyways.
So no bonus die, just roll straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just an insight resist.
Ta-da! Oh boy.
So you take 3 stress. Ram, however, does not set off the trap, and you manage to pull Ram back in a second, but this leaves the trap dead ahead of you, and there's like a giant stone step that you folks need to get past.
And the explosion of jets and flame is what flashes as a premonition. Yeah.
Probably like see the nozzles that like we know there's a trap there now. We could probably like figure out where the nozzles are, like where the fire's going to come from, and damage them before we set off the trap, and maybe redirect the fire or something along those lines.
Was the fire still going?
It's not going at all now, not yet anyways.
Oh, okay. So we just know it's going to happen if we...
So the way that we talk about this is that something has to trigger your insight resist, right? Like you can't just grab somebody for no reason and go, nope, right before they step onto something. You spot something, and I think Alice's explanation is perfectly reasonable. You're keen-eyed, you definitely have like one mechanical eye, you see probably better in these lighting conditions than the rest of them, and you see some nozzles in the walls, and you're like, yeah, those look like, whoa, and then you grab Ram right before Ram goes down, and it's a little stressful, right? Because you grab Ram at the last second, and Ram's already like have to press the switch, and you have to like bodily pull Ram back, and Ram is no tiny non-Barton. So yeah, you definitely you guys are fine. You'll probably like fall back, and like everyone's okay, but like nothing's happened yet. But the trap is still there; it's still active.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fucking thing to do. I come back and just bash in some nozzles or tri-tube from a distance.
Well,
no.
It's not a distance that's a problem.
Fade's like, go, we got a problem.
Yeah, the problem is that we're not moving onward. And can I marshal our way over this thing and not trigger the trap?
Well, I mean, sure, you're running faster.
You can marshal.
I mean, has to run through fire, is what you're saying.
You
No,
can,
I want you to keep going down this hallway.
even though you're lit on fire, that is acceptable.
No,
You can totally.
no, I was thinking about just being like, stop being afraid of this trap. Let's just avoid it and go. Like, don't think about it. Just go.
Step over that stair.
Let's move.
You can certainly marshal. Well, okay.
It's a single plate in the ground, right? Like, can we just step over it?
That we know of.
Yes, but you know.
All right, that's fair. Never mind. Okay.
You could do that. Or you could
Yeah,
marshal. You could marshal us to find other traps and navigate safely, or something. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah,
a
for
different.
sure.
Yeah,
Instead
I
of
want
run
to
down that
marshal
fire
through.
hall.
Yeah,
So you want to organize
set us up.
all four people? Yes, you can.
I want to set
marshal
up the person who finds a route. To find a route.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we're not
give me,
we're not getting jammed up in this fucking death place. All right, all right, squad, keep your eyes peeled. Find a route. Or get this down. I want this problem solved before this torch burns down halfway, or something like
cool.
that.
So give me a controlled marshal, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What if I throw my lantern at it and add to the fire?
Would
Would that be helpful?
I probably should.
No,
go
we
first,
create
maybe.
a smaller controlled fire to help the other one burn out. That's the thing.
I kick Great Fading Wake into the. No, you said control, right?
No.
Best sniper. Yeah.
In my pack, I have a flame-proof vest.
6.
Oh.
6 strush. So
Yeah. So everyone's set up. You have either extra effect or better position to deal with this trap.
I think,
Do you kick me down the stairs?
no.
I mean, it's almost like we're trying to either like.
Do I choose the setup? Do I choose what I give to somebody, or does the player get to have
The player gets to choose it.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously, you can discuss with them.
Right.
It's table talk, right? But like the thing that we want to talk about is how are you guys tackling this? Is this a complicated arrangement of ropes and pulleys? Is this somebody trying to jam up the works of the mechanism and stop this thing from working? Like, what are you trying to apply as a solution to the problem, and who's kind of leading that?
Strash, you presented a problem that can't be solved by shooting it. What's wrong with
That
you?
is true. There will be more than one of those here. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I
have
know.
most of the nice
I
last
know.
Weird mission.
I'm just sniping. I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
I
Known as
mean, like,
tinker.
is there like a way we can, now that we know what a trap step looks like, that we can just like, okay, we skip that step. Okay, is the next one after that trapped? Okay, we'll skip that step.
We could scout it.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I'm thinking.
true. You can scout to find out if there is trouble ahead of time.
Yeah.
But
Is it-
ultimately, if I answer yes, there are 3 trapped steps, the question is, how do you get past them? Like,
We take like
You cowboy walk over it where you have
Flash.
like.
Yeah.
There's 3 ways I see of solving this problem. We either scout first to identify the things and try to maneuver past them, or we
Yeah.
try and do a group tinker roll of some kind and try to disable the trap and then go through. Those are the 2 ways I see.
I'm
When I give-
thinking
Go well last
scout
time.
maneuver.
What I'd give my kingdom for a rookie.
hang on, Kelsey, you're still a little soft, but go ahead. What were you trying to say?
Oh, I was saying I vote scout maneuver also.
Does someone want to assist me? Because I have 1.
I also have one.
Or you could do it, yeah.
I mean,
Do you have any stress?
No, I can just.
I've got 5.
Yeah,
It
here,
sounds
I'll
about
take a
like
stress
a-
and help you.
Actually, I have a recommendation. It could be you 2 doing a group scout with myself assisting, and how I can assist is have a rope tied to both of you. So if I hear you set off traps, I will pull you back.
I feel like that's the easiest way to make someone throw up. Is a huge person just yanking them by the way.
Probably, but it's better than getting set on fire.
I agree.
Did somebody bring rope?
Yeah.
I'm just picturing like one of our characters just throwing up while fire is just like in front of them.
Cool. So do you guys want to do a risky scout?
Yeah.
Okay. So it could become a controlled scout, or it could be a great scout for you guys to figure out where all the traps are and stuff.
I want great effect.
Cool. So it's just a risky scout then. And is this a group action, or are you doing it solo?
I'll lead a group action if you want to participate.
Yeah.
I think It sounds like a group action.
I participate.
With me assisting like Kelsa, or not Kelsa. Sorry.
Yeah, Kelsa's leading it.
Yeah, I meant to refer to Kel.
Oh, sorry.
Green fading wake.
Fading wake. Sorry.
Green green glowing
Green glowing
thunder.
thunder was right. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah. Okay.
This is why I like putting the names up because I'm really bad about it.
I
Sorry.
feel it. I feel you. I feel you. I do.
I put it in the roll 20. All right. Let me roll some dice here. Everybody roll some dice. Somebody
And this
do
is
better
risky
than-
standard?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's risky standard.
I assisted you, Kelsa.
Oh, you were assisting me?
I'll just add it to mine. It's
Sure.
fine. Because they're all, it doesn't.
Well, fives
Fives for
across the
days.
board.
So here's the good news. You think you actually no. I'll give you a limited effect here. So like great effect becomes standard effect, right?
Yeah.
You guys are going to identify all the traps. Eric definitely, his officer definitely marshals all of you, gets you organized, gets you motivated, and you guys scout it out. You try a couple of different like tricks with like tapping things and like rolling things down the stairs and like checking out the sides of the walls to see like if there are signs of like scraping and other stuff like that. And you kind of like make some educated guesses. And here's the good news: you definitely identify it, and you can definitely skip over a couple of the booby trap stairs. But there is a really kind of like nasty turn in the hallway where there is one that there is no good way to get past it. You're gonna have to either like clamber sideways across the walls or like try to get past it some other way. There's like, you definitely find every step that you need to take. There's just one that you cannot overcome with just
All
by
right.
knowing that it's there.
All right,
Okay,
Ram, throw me
here's
on the
an
corner.
idea.
Let's go.
Here's an idea. Here's an idea and a half. You know that Revenant body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Put that on like a stick. Just
Put it on a stick.
just like
Like a
touching
puppet?
everything. Yeah, just let it trigger the traps and let's just go.
But it might do the whole hall if we trigger it, is what I'm worried about.
I'm not worried.
Oh
about
yeah, that's a good point.
It might be like a,
Well-
just kidding, fire from behind.
Well,
where
then
you
let's-
can-
Well,
So I have a weird suggestion. I don't know that it would work.
Mm-hmm.
shoot it.
What if our heavy gets on all four and hovers with their hands over the things, and we, since she's pretty strong, we could climb over and then help her up.
This sounds like a group maneuver.
I love it. I
would
love
say
it.
Group maneuver is the way to do that.
Like Twister.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Twister.
I mean, like seriously, me just fucking like shoulder, like almost tossing you over the step, and then me doing a running start, and you fucking like pulling me over. That's a viable strategy.
It is. Sounds good. Do you guys want to
Who
do
wants
that?
to lead
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I'm all I'm all for
Officer?
uh
I only mentioned because officers have some leadership powers. That's all, man.
Yeah, carry on.
good
plan.
point.
All right, group maneuver. Everybody, throw some dice.
Cool.
Who's technically leading this?
Eric is technically leading. It sounds like just via
Sounds
like.
good.
I
me.
just suggested. Eric said yes, so
Okay.
that sounds good.
I got 5.
5 Reno.
Also 5.
I don't have any die in this. I am so sorry for what's about to happen.
Push.
Scout without maneuver.
6.
Oh,
Push.
No.
That's a
3.
three.
Damn it,
3.
3.
Why didn't you push or
Okay,
double
it's
bargain?
okay.
Because I only have 3.
Stress.
I only have 3 stress left.
Oh, all right. I mean, that's reasonable.
Sorry.
You and your
One stress
Cool.
for that. It's
valid
fine.
excuses.
I really
I
wanted to
can
pick that lock.
5.
The best
5
was a
to
5.
6. 5 to 6 means you're
Or 5.
most of you are going to make it. One of you will not.
Sounds
So
like
I think that's exactly what happens. Is
Yeah.
there's a moment where like everybody gets across, and Ram is like, "Okay, I'm gonna take a running start and jump over this." And you take 3 steps back, and there's a click. And everybody else is fine, but Ram is gonna take some harm from giant gouts of fire.
How much harm?
It's gonna be 2 levels. I think you're going to be extra crispy.
I think what'll happen in that case is I will armor it once, and I will resist the last one.
Sounds great. Prowess resist.
Prowess
Bartons are
resist.
famous for really a ridiculously large prowess resists.
I have 4. This is true. Ooh, still take 2 stress. Unfortunate.
But you don't get
I-
roasty toasty. which is the
Yeah.
reduced form of extra crispy.
So I think like the fire goes and like it's over Ram, and then like fire like at like after a little bit it stops, and Ram like fucking is standing there, literally just like fucking. I think like probably use like the coat to like cover her face and like huddle down for a little bit to like wait for it to fucking stop, because her plate armor is like fucking heavy, and it's like gonna boil first if like it's touching metal immediately. So it's like cover it with like the leather and stuff because that'll burn slower, and then just like fucking tosses off any of the melted bits, and it's just like.
How do you feel about that? I mean, this is custom fitted armor with like ram motifs and other things like all over you. Like,
Second
how
time you've lost your armor.
Yeah, I think if you had asked her that the first time, she would have been pissed. But this is the second time her armors had like been like damaged slash like actually not even second time, third time because they also got impaled earlier. But like I think at this point it's still like she's grown not to have an attachment for the most reason. For the most part, the reason why the ram motif stays, why she still has the like helmet with the horns, is so that she's identifiable at distance, like just on silhouette to like the troops.
Makes sense to me.
cool. So I
picture
think
Fate just putting out a little like when she walks over, like there's a little piece of cloth on fire. She's like.
cool. So you folks make it through without too much further ado. All right. So yeah, we're gonna set it up where you've been in this kind of claustrophobic zone / space for a while. Like the next thing that you see is a ring. It's like a column with like a staircase that winds down up like a little bit, and there's actually some light. Like if you look up, it's obvious that this column extends up past where the staircase ends, and there is actually some light coming down, like natural light is coming from above. Every once in a while you see just like a little dirt fall in the center of this, and by the time you get to the bottom you realize that the last like the bottom like 10 feet are covered in just like dirt that's slowly been raining from above. But yeah, you're walking down the staircase, right, and there's alcoves of bodies. I don't think anything happens. I think that you folks look at them, askance,
Leery.
but none of them get up and try to give you grief, as it were. But yeah, you walk down this column. You're gonna see like actual like sarcophagi and stuff arranged in circular formation. There's some like bas relief statues on top of the lids and stuff. There's some insignia and such on there. And as you kind of like wind your way through these tunnels a little bit further, you finally get to sort of like the last room, and like the only true light in this room is Gray Fading Wake's lantern. And you realize that this is kind of like a natural cave. Like there's rock, and there's actually like water flowing and stuff around you and stuff too. Like there's a sound like a trickle, like there's an underground stream or something, and it's been carved out so that the water goes around this kind of like mound. And as you walk in, you realize that there is like maybe a dozen sarcophagi, again with like the statuary on it and everything, and it looks like some large hand or something. Like it looks like something from above cast these sarcophagi down, and they're like embedded in the ground, maybe like a foot or something. Like they're at weird angles. Some of them are on their side, some of them are like almost upright. There's a really big one, really big sarcophagus near the top of this like mound with like a little path winding around it. And as you look around, you sort of realize that atop that mound there is a little stone altar, and on top of that stone altar is a goblet that looks almost exactly like the drawing that you were handed that said, "Please fetch me this thing, and I will give you lots of the monies."
Fade looks at Green and goes, if this isn't a trap, I don't know what is.
Well, that's what we're here for, so see if we can figure it out before we spring it.
What if we burn all these bodies first? We could take turns dragging them onto those traps back there.
I think as soon as we touch them, something's gonna happen. If it's anything like last time.
Did you touch the last one, Green?
I don't think so.
It's a
Touch
general
it.
presence.
You were reading inscriptions
Yeah, like
in Old Empire.
he's like thinking about it and going, remembering like reading along the sword and being like, I don't think I touched them, but I was really engrossed in what it said on the sword as opposed to like what my elbow was doing.
You read aloud.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what triggers it.
Doubt.
maybe.
Well,
No.
otherwise, I doubt the guys that got murdered back there read Old Empire.
She's suspicious. She's just sitting there with her gun, kind of like defensive position.
How many of these sarcophagi are there again?
Probably a dozen. There's like 10 or so like regular ones and like the really big one near the top.
I say we simply take defensive positions, murder them as they come alive, leave.
Always a death trap is the problem. Does it look like that staircase might go out of here? Like be another way out that we could go?
You would have to climb up via the alcoves, but there is light coming from above. It's possible. You want to give me a scout roll?
Yeah, I think she's going to offer to, we might want to climb up there and see if that's a way out, grab it, and just go.
That's a good idea.
And then she'll put her gun on her back and climb.
I would offer an assist, but I have 1 stress left, so...
I have 3 left, so...
Try not to fall to your death.
Should I push myself or just wait, you think?
It's up to you. If this turns into an actual fight, you may want that stress.
That's fair.
You also may not want to roll 2, so, pros and cons.
It's okay.
No, it's perfectly okay. It's a joke.
So I think what I'm gonna say is yeah, we'll see what the rest of your team does. I'm about to do something terrible to you, so I apologize in advance, but I'm sure your team will be super cool about this. So I think that Great Fading Wake scrambles like a squirrel up, like, 1 alcove, 2 alcoves. Like there's like maybe 2 problems, right, where you have to solve, where you have to like jump from one dead person to another. You have to get real cozy with a couple of the bodies, but they don't seem to be activating on you. You have to wonder how they were placed here, because the staircase only makes it like about halfway up the cylinder, right? I assume you're climbing the room behind, not the perfectly dark room, right?
Yeah. She's just trying to get as close to that opening as she can to see if that's like the roof of this place and we could get down there. Like
yeah, so you see essentially, like, you do see an opening, but it's not like the top of this goes for like a good, I want to say like 3 to 4 meters, so like maybe like, I don't know, like 3-4 yards. Like it's some distance, and then you can actually see where the roof has actually caved in, and that's what the hole up there is. It wasn't necessarily designed to be used as like an exit. It may have at one point been some sort of like chimney or like an air vent for the workers that were down here. This is why when the fire went off in that hallway, you didn't just instantly lose all the air in the sort of underground. And so like you can see it, you just can't quite reach it like from where you're standing. You're gonna have to do something a little more drastic to set up some sort of handhold or something to try and get out through that way.
I have a soldier's kit, which may have rope and stuff, so come grab that if you need it.
Yeah, can I try to set up like be able to climb out of here type deal?
If you have a climbing kit, you might be able to set up batons, but it's going to be a pretty risky maneuver because you're putting your full weight on whatever it is that you drove into the ceiling there.
That's fair. Yeah, would a soldier's kit have something that I could fasten, like, maybe take that knife that's already not useful anymore and maybe like get it to the other side as a weight to just pull the rope down?
Also, worth mentioning, the officer has channels that could be spent to get us a climbing kit.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
was gonna say you need real climbing equipment because we're talking about construction grade materials here. Like it might only be fitted stone, but it's not enough for somebody to just like slide a knife in and have it be reliably holding you to the ceiling. You really need pitons and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, then I will spend my special.
Cool. So in order for us to ascertain what quality this gear is, you're gonna have to make a consort roll.
Sure. Is the position in effect for debate?
It's traditionally controlled. We can debate it. It's so what you're really doing is you're rolling consort to acquire assets. So it's kind of a weird downtime action that the officer can take because
Mhm.
officers know the right people and have the right amount of pull that they can equip their missions better than other missions. Doesn't come with consorts. You should
Alright.
be good with this.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I like, what would you guys do without me? As I like pull out the stuff.
It's not just the stuff; it's fine stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like on this mission of all specialists, like Goat is like a lot nicer and like sure you gave us that speech to just charge down the stairs and keep moving quickly, but like there was a certain warmth to it that you try to express to the rookies that you just can't pull across.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've obviously what I say to you as I'm pulling this gear out is I say, "Don't let the rookies know I was nice to you." As I pull out all the climbing gear.
Faye just takes it as like,
Don't let them think I'm going soft. As a
I think Ram punches your shoulder like very, very lightly for her, but maybe it staggers like you're always soft and walks forward.
oh, nice.
Oh.
No,
Alright.
that.
No, there's no death. It's what I said was you cannot advance forward without proper equipment, and then your officer said, "Aha!" But we have proper equipment. So I think
There
Ginga's failure is less relevant now. Like if at this point you can do another maneuver to set up the equipment and stuff for you guys to haul ass, as it were, out.
That was bad. That was real bad.
I don't have great maneuver. Is that something they can do from the ground, or I have to do from my position?
You guys
I'll lead.
can group. Someone can lead. Anybody can
I'll
maneuver.
lead. I'll lead, and can I hear my devil's bargain?
Well, actually, this is kind of a setup action because this will be a maneuver to help you later when you're trying to get out of here pronto. That's actually still going to require a maneuver because if you're trying to climb this rope at any speed, you are still climbing like 50 feet up and like 5 feet across into like just hanging hand over
Right.
hand.
So okay, all right.
Could you marshal us to do it?
It's
Does anyone have
That
discipline?
sounds like another setup, though.
It's another
It
setup.
is.
I'm
Worse
setting up
than-
your setup.
What you
I
can
meant instead.
you can set up the future maneuver.
Oh, climb out of here.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Because you're not trying to
Um,
leave without the goods, and from what I understood, what you're mostly doing is preparing your exit route.
Yeah. Like
Right.
it's okay, Ginge. Just roll. It's like I think it's still a net like better for us just to roll the maneuver rather than try and roll like a marshal or something.
Okay.
Can I
No.
assist in that case?
You can.
I'll go ahead and
Anyway, only one person can assist, but it can be anyone.
yeah, I'll do it. I haven't spent any stress yet, so Green Glowing Thunder will be on the ground and just like, pointing out where it needs to go, catching the rope as you throw it over a pulley, stuff like that.
I think my job's mostly lifting people and like holding on to like letting people use me as like freaking leverage to like get themselves higher to like place things that need to be placed. And
Yeah.
stuff.
And
I
I'm
don't know what
formatting
you
it up.
guys... Oops, sorry.
Oh, I mean, I'm setting up this maneuver roll with Marshall.
Cool.
So
It sounds like, by the way, Green is assisting Gray, just so Gray can get the dice without rolling 2 and taking the lowest.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that sounds good.
4.
Oh, 3. Great. Thanks, dice.
I thought this was a maneuver, not a marshal.
The marshal was the setup.
Ah,
So
I see.
what we found out is that the setup didn't help, but that's okay.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah, you climb there and do a thing.
Yeah. I realize I don't know anything about climbing.
You know a lot about organizing people though. 3 dice and Marshall's pretty beefy. All right, cool.
Yeah, it
So
is.
if 5 is your major role here, I think what's going to happen is you will set things up, but on the way down, one of the batons that you drove into the side of the wall as you're scrambling down, it's going to give way, and one of you is going to go tumbling down like quite a distance and taking some harm, probably from broken bones.
I mean,
Can I resist this?
You totally
As
can. How would you
they're-
like to save them?
Because obviously we're setting up this climb equipment, and I've been down on the ground catching the ropes. I'm acting as their what's the word? in
Anchor?
climbing. Yeah, where basically
The belayer.
belayer.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, thank you. So I was going to say resist with prowess to when they slip, just hold them and don't let them go.
I think that's totally plausible. Yeah,
All right, let's do
Yes,
it.
I'll buy it.
That's a crit.
Oh boy.
You would clear stress if you had any.
I just took a stress to assist us, so
Well, then you clear it.
there we go. Perfect.
Free. Freecrits.com.
That's amazing.
Awesome. So you
That's
guys are.
where, that's where Gray Fading Wake like slips as the pin falls out, and I stop and I'm like, "Don't worry, I have you." Wink.
I picture her foot's like stuck in the rope, and she's upside down trying to like fix herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Yep, everything's okay up here. I'm coming down."
swing.
Perfect.
Awesome. So I guess this just leaves one thing, which is how are you guys grabbing that goblet? Who's where? What's the plan here?
Really wish we had the scout instead of the sniper on this. No offense.
I was gonna say I can get to the top and pick them off as they come for you.
It's not even like that's. Yeah, that's a good call actually. Yeah.
Or I can get in one of the alcoves near the rope and just pick them off as they go for
No,
you.
I think the shooting from above sounds pretty good.
No.
Mm.
Yeah, you shooting from above. I'll actually guard the rope itself and make sure like that doesn't become like
I guess
that
I
area
will
doesn't get compromised.
I mean-
volunteer myself for smash and grab because I have the most stress.
I mean,
So
can we do this as everybody gets up the rope and you smash and grab the rope and we all pull you up Indiana Jones style?
Ooh.
yes, 100% behind this plan.
Grab that. But we won't be able to assist you.
No,
We won't be able to assist you
I was
once
about
you're.
to say.
I mean,
yeah.
I can
that
by
terrifies
shooting.
me if this goes wrong.
I can by shooting if I need to.
You
Like
are.
if something's on her or after her, I could.
I have confidence in my ability to roll dice.
I don't. On in mine.
I mean, I wouldn't. I should. That's a bad plan, but I still do.
All right, that's
Um,
good. But I look at you, like if are we doing this plan?
Ram is against it. It's
Every-
like I'm just as point of note. If that's like the plan that's pitched, I'm like Ram is like, I need to stay down here, make sure that Green gets here. Then I'll go up.
All right, I look at you and I say, "You're the last one up the rope," and
Fine by me.
yeah.
It's gonna take you the longest as well.
And I'm gonna tell Doc as like we're getting ready to climb up the thing. I'm gonna say, Doc, if you have a choice between your own hide and that cup, make sure you're back up here.
Aw.
Maybe point of note, by the way, Gray. Technically, with me having a maneuver and you not, you would actually potentially be the slowest up there.
Oh, I'm already gonna be up there. My point was, if you're the last one, you're
Yeah.
the slowest.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yep. Oh, I'm actually at normal load. I'm not all that. I'm not slow. I'm just big. Like I run fast as anyone.
You're just
Right.
heavy.
All right,
So
so I
if
think we
have
got
to
the
pull
plan, right?
you, that's
So
what's gonna be
so Strauss, a lot of us are gonna preemptively go up the rope, and by a lot of us, I mean me.
That's fine.
Um,
half of you.
All right. And so then half the group's gonna be up on the rope waiting for the other half to smash and grab this.
And then Ram is just gonna be standing at the base of the rope, and Green Glowing Thunder is gonna make a run for it.
Okay. Cool. So let's just be clear. There are two rooms. There is the perfectly pitch black room that is kind of it's got the little mound of dirt and the cup at the top of it. It's got the trickling water in the sarcophagi. And there's the large cylindrical room with the alcoves around it and the staircase that goes about halfway up that currently has the rope and is your planned escape out. So what I'm hearing is Eric is going to be at the top of the cylindrical room. Gray Fading Wake is going to be probably on the staircase with a sniper rifle trained on the like passageway into the other room. Ram is going to be at the base of the rope at the base of the room, and only the doctor is walking into the second room where the cup is. Is that correct?
I think Ram should escort.
I'm just asking.
It's like if the plan is to, I mean, that's not a bad plan either. I'm happy with that either. Ram wants to be here to make sure that you get to the base of the rope. So I think escorting is a good call too, actually. I'm cool with that, actually. If that works for you.
Don't slow me down.
I think Ram just like literally just you know that thing people can do, like I can't, but they just like move their neck and it cracks really loudly.
Yeah,
like
I
she
know
just,
that.
just rolls it slightly and just like without touching it and just through like a sudden snap, and that's her response.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Okay. So once again,
I'm escorting the medic.
Cool. So the two of you walk into the room. Gray Fading Wake's got a bead on that hallway, like as you folks go through. Gray Fading Wake, did you give them your lantern?
Yeah.
Okay. You're actually not in that bad a shape because you have your one eye, which lets you see even invisible targets and stuff like that. So you can process the darkness a little bit better than anyone else on the team. But the light fades rather quickly, which means that Eric, if you're at the top of the rope, you're basically looking into a dark pit where you can't see more than like 10 feet down with the light from the outside, right?
Yep.
And go ahead.
No, I'm aware. I'm totally cool with it. I'm up here with the sniper.
I'm picturing the lights go out. The lights go out. And she's like, "They're coming to get us." She's just messing while she's looking down this hall.
Another quip like that. I'm throwing you down this hole. I'm ordering them to leave you there.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Just remember, bad quips will get you fired.
Yep.
Terrible.
Not if I save people.
Will get you promoted.
Yes.
All right. So I think that there's like a moment where the two of you are walking in, right? And you're sort of like walking past these giant sarcophagi with these like, carvings on top of them that are still. It's this like really creepy. You have to like wind your way up that dirt mound to the top where there's this little shrine with the goblet. And as you're getting to the top, right, like so like Ram, you're there, and Green Glowing Thunder, you're there. And you I assume you reach for it.
Yeah, I think that Ram probably is holding the lantern, and Green Glowing Thunder is going to grab this thing, unless there's some like obvious warning, like written on the pedestal or something.
Ye who touch this cup shall die immediately.
Yeah.
My cup. That's all it says under it.
You have chosen poorly.
It's a giant rock that starts rolling.
I was actually debating that one, Eric. But there's nothing written on the pedestal itself. It's actually a very simple kind of like stone cylinder, right?
Really understated.
But as you reach for it, like as you're reaching for it to pick it up, like right before your hand connects, there's a voice that speaks, and it says, "Why are you trying to take my things?" And like if you look around, you realize that there is a shape, and it's perched kind of like a bird with long, lanky arms and a tattered, what might have once been a great coat. It's sitting like perched like a bird on top of that giant sarcophagus that is like right next to where the cup is.
Who the fuck are you?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's a you say who
That's
the
the
fuck are
answer.
you?
I'd be right.
Which one of you is holding the lantern? Cool. Do you like set it
Yeah,
down
I
and
like-
get your weapons ready? Do you hold
No,
it up
I
to see
have
this?
I have it one hand flailing the other, so I'm like, I hold it up immediately.
So yeah, you hold it up, and the figure goes and just like makes a hand gesture, and the light immediately goes out.
Okay,
Shit.
never mind.
And then you see its eyes like ignite with the same red kind of like glow that that Ginga's eyes have, and it says, "I'm not going to ask twice."
Get an answer. Well, oh,
Is
so
there
I
any
heard it
chance
actually
that
while
I
you're trying to
have
think of things I
heard
of.
any lore about whatever this thing could possibly be?
Sure, roll some research. It's
Yeah,
the best skill.
I'm gonna push myself because
I will throw my last stress to assist you in this. 'Cause I
Okay.
would like to
What's
not
my
fucking-
position?
It's controlled, right? Because you're
Okay.
searching your memory. There's no
Just-
attack pattern here.
Just
It's
checking. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I think the assistance is here is more Ram's presence than her intellect. Did you? 4.
It's
but
5. So
I think like the way she helps is by being here and maybe being kind of like reassuring that like if this goes poorly, you have Ram behind you.
the I have enough time to think for 30 seconds because Ram is here.
Yeah.
cool. So I'm gonna give you a couple of quick tidbits. The Legion was founded by oh, hang on, I have this written down. 1 second. I don't want to get the name wrong. And later it was gonna be like, you wrote the game, you don't even know your stuff. Tantarus. Tantarus was an emperor of the old empire, and he founded the Legion to fight supernatural threats, among other things. Like the Legion was his. This is like ages ago. This is like 400 years ago. These are old annals to the point where, like, you know, they're like half faded and they've had to be transcribed in order for you to even read them. Like 400 years is a long time, but the Legion's like super proud of its heritage. So like you've heard this speech before, right? So the old empire had an emperor named Tantarus who actually founded the Legion ages ago. But the emperors used to do this thing that would grant them like extended life, even immortality. And your memory sparks a little bit. It's there's some ritual, something about this cup. You're not really sure. It involves like mixing it with blood or something. There's like blood rituals that grant creatures immortality, and in particular, it's the weird paleness of this thing, and it's like red glowing eyes that kind of trigger this memory. You're like, hang on a second, I read something in a book about this. I remember this kind of thing. This is like old empire magic, right? Like it's that's what you get on a 5. It's some information. It's not perfect information. It's you think they're called, like, if the ritual isn't performed correctly or it's not performed often enough or any number of things, they become things called revenants.
Remnants?
Revenants.
Revenants.
Yeah.
So do I believe that this thing is a revenant?
Yeah.
Old empire, so at least they like the Legion, maybe. So.
I mean, I think that's the only card we have to play.
Sure. What do you play?
We're with the Legion.
Which unit are you? You see the red like squint, so you can like see its eye expressions, even though you can't see the rest of its body.
What unit?
I mean, we're not a
316. Give
Uh,
us your shit.
It's not that. It's that. So I'll tell you another fact. Remember that all of your squads have names, and these names have been around for a long time. So if you have like the Shattered Land Squad or like whatever, like they have like badges from like back in the day that they wear that are like Legion specific. You have like banners and names that have been passed on.
Also, you read on the inscribed thing earlier, Grinning Raven was the thing that guy was a part of.
They're like squad names, right? Like 51st Airborne, I don't know, Striking Hawks or something. I don't know.
Screaming.
Cackling Crow.
I am really bad at this game, so please forgive me.
The game of naming squads.
Yes.
And because refresh me on my history of how this game, the history of the game.
Sure.
Our Alana, is she like they're reincarnated over and over again? Has this
Yep.
been since the beginning of the Legion, or before, or is it something more recent than that?
Chosen have been around, as far as I understand it. Tell me if I'm wrong, Strauss. But they haven't necessarily been associated with the Legion. Like Alana might.
The Legion fought in the God Wars, but that was between the Old Empire and the current day. So yeah, the Chosen have been around for a long time. Yeah.
But they might not necessarily have been associated. The Chosen that's with us now might not have been associated with us later or like previously. Does that make sense as far as I understand it?
Sure. I guess what I'm trying to say is, well, I could say what our current squad is, or I could lie and say that we're from the squad that I read off of the previous sword.
Sure.
I was thinking instead of either of those things, saying that we travel with Alana, the Chosen Alana.
Except
okay.
This thing might not like Alana. Like
we'll make a fortune roll. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably not though.
I mean,
like it's so Lana doesn't like undead. This thing is an undead essentially.
It's up to Green Glowing Thunder though. Which gamble are you going with? Are you going with the hey, listen, buddy, we're backed by a Chosen and you should be scared? Or are you going with the hey, we're old buddies, we're from the same kind of thing you are. Maybe you can give us the cup. One of them's a sway roll, the other one's a discipline roll. That's all I'm basically saying.
I'm equally bad at both of them. Well, no, I've got one dice in either.
Great. So which one are you feeling? Are you feeling the schmooze? Are you feeling the taunting?
The consequences to friendly are way better than consequences to taunting.
But I'm reckless.
Oh shit.
Fades up top like, it's been a while.
But I'm also shrewd.
How long does it take to pick up a cup?
All right, I'm gonna be friends. I'm gonna be friends.
Cool. So maybe you name the squad that you read off, or do you name an actual squad that's active in the Legion right now?
I will say an active squad that's in the Legion right now.
Great.
Probably...
Give me a sway.
Okay.
Or a consort if you're better at that.
No, it's totally sway. What's my position here?
I feel like it's risky. Right? Like there's some element of risk.
For sure.
I was thinking, okay, we're better here than I thought we were. So.
All right, I'm going to push myself for another die.
If you had gone for discipline, it may have been desperate, but right now you're like, yeah, we're from which do you say? One of the current squads or the old one?
One of the current squads.
Okay, cool. So you're like hyena, like whatever the
Vulture,
appropriate.
We always go with vulture.
Oh, vulture, yeah. You know, like we're still there's a vulture squad, and you see like the thing's eyes move left and the eyes move right, and then there's this like weird effect, almost like motorcycles at night or something. It's almost like the eyes like get like a running connected light, like almost like it's blurring or something.
Okay.
And there's like a trail, and then it's standing on the ground like probably on the other side of the pedestal, because like all you're looking at is the trail of these glowing eyes, and you hear a voice come out from the other side and say, Legion hasn't been in these parts for a very long time. What do you want with my cup, Legionnaire?
We are tasked to retrieve it.
For whom and why?
It's above my pay grade.
Do I hear this, by the way?
Yeah. It's actually speaking.
Okay.
Mind you, it's speaking in old Empire, like it's speaking like. But it's fine. You've heard like. You can imagine that, like, you guys hear readings from like the old text or whatever periodically. Like, you may not be fluent in. Effectively, this is like this world's version of Latin, right? Like, but you can
like get yelled at a lot in Latin, so.
Right, and so like you may have like it's not that you're like completely dense and totally missing everything. Like they're not speaking something that you've never heard before.
Cool. I'm just like, Commander told us to get a cup. We get a cup. I don't think the Legion's changed that much since. Ever.
I think there's like a deep-throated chuckle, and then it says, And what if your emperor told you to buzz off?
You know.
Well, you know, maybe we'll just head back and chat with the commander.
I think yeah, there's probably definitely some like glancing at each other in the dark. We can't actually see each other. But we
You could
definitely...
probably relight the lantern. Like, it didn't explode. The light just...
Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
I'm gonna like relight it behind me, so there's like shadow, like so we have like a little bit of light that's like cast through my silhouette, but it's not like directly hitting this thing. Because that it seemed to be okay with light, just not direct light, if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Totally.
So
So that's going to be happening over the next, like, 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
No problem. There's no, like, roll or anything involved.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been a long time since anyone's called you emperor outside of this room.
There's like a faint chuckle, and it says like, "Oh, I'm pulling your leg. You legionnaires are always so gullible." No, I'm not an emperor. Just someone close enough to know the right words to say. But like the light goes on, and you see this person, right? Like, and they're still kind of like shadowed because like the light is sort of being shielded largely by Ram's body. But you see the figure, and it says like, "Yeah, but I can't let you take this from me. I understand orders, but I have to tell you, it has a reason why it's been buried here for so long.
What reason would that be?
You're not supposed to have it."
And you
Is
are?
there any way we can convince you otherwise?
That's actually a really good question. Yeah, I think it just says nah, F it. I mean, it just says you've got your orders, I've got mine.
I mean, do you have consort at all?
I shot down what's taking so long.
Yeah. I wish I could flip goat off right now.
You hear caw. Hurry the fuck up, caw.
I really fucking question. Would you be willing to help me with the consort, even if it only gets me one die?
Sure.
Kelsa?
Yeah.
I mean, then that is the plan then. I think I am going to like step forward with the lantern. Still, like, I think it's like I hooked it on my belt, so
Sure.
it's like just behind me, so I can hold it. I step forward next to Green. Like, then speaking of essentially soldier to soldier, I cannot by any means leave without this. I will not fail my legion. As asking as a soldier, let us leave and let us take it.
I'll let you leave, but if you pick it up, you're not walking out of here.
I'm trying to think of how I can try. I want to try like consort it and be like.
I don't think that this is gonna work. I kind of just want to just like flying leap, take it and roll down the hill.
No problem. That's totally a thing you can do.
I'm doing
Throw
it.
the lantern
Fuck
at
it.
it.
It's too late now.
No.
So I think you're like looking at him. He goes like, perhaps I could speak to your commander about why you would need. And then the lantern gets grabbed, and green glowing thunder is gonna go rolling down the hill. Is that what I'm getting?
I'm grabbing the chalice.
Oh yes.
Not the lantern.
I'm sorry, I said the lantern because it was.
Yeah, no, we're going because we're not leaving without it. And you're distracting him. That's your job. I need to get to the rope.
Yeah, I think there's like Ram's about to respond, sees that in green, is like, dear fuck. All right, fuck it. And just like, I'm gonna pop anchor immediately. I'm gonna try and fend it off to get like I'm gonna engage it and just fucking hold it at bay and let green get out and like slowly backtrack.
Cool. So there is a moment where this thing takes its hand, and like when it moves, it's not moving like you people do. There's just like this like blur, right? Like you see its like head like twitch and like everything, like almost like it's moving in like a weird, more rapid pace. And it takes its hand and it shoves down on that pedestal, and you hear a very similar click to the sound of the trap activation. And Green, again, there are resistance rolls and other things that everyone can make.
Right.
But you see the hallway in front of you, and you see the light from above where like everyone's like training their sights and is waiting for you folks to come up. And then you see a great drop there, and that's when you hear all the sarcophagi open.
Yep.
And maybe we should take a break.
Ooh. Let's take a break.
Damn it.
Everybody. Where's my break screen? Okay.